Welcome to this week's episode of the Soto Mojo Podcast. My name is Trevor.
And my name is Ethan.
And we're just a couple of high school baseball coaches from Tacoma who love talking Mariners baseball. Dude, I actually looked at the camera that time.
Yeah.
I went and watched the beginning of our YouTube channel the other day, and I was
Shout out
like,
YouTube.
I'm always looking at my computer.
Shout out YouTube, by the way. YouTube.
So this is me looking at the camera. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Rock and roll. Hey, we got a lot to get into. Last week we recorded right after the game got over against the Royals. And then today we're going to probably wrap this show literally as the Mariners are starting game 3 against the Yankees.
But I'm pissed because of the lineup. But we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. We have some feelings and some thoughts about the lineup today. As you would imagine, it has something to do with hot hands and not being played. But we'll get there. We will get there. Let's talk about around the league. I think it's kind of cool what the Pirates are doing with Barry Bonds.
I think the Pirates are getting a lot of things right.
Dude, I think they're turning.
Yeah. They
are turning it around, dude. Their pitching core is young and exciting with tons of years of control, and they're studs. As I was just referring to with Barry Bonds, they're inducting him into the Hall of Fame in August in Pittsburgh, which is legendary. Dude, you know what's crazy? I kind of watched Barry Bonds towards the end of his career. That was kind of my conscious era. I know you never really did.
Never.
Right. And I only remember at Barry Bonds as the yoked, crazy, hitting bombs. Like, dude has a ton of stolen bases under his belt.
Especially with the Pirates.
Especially with the Pirates. And if you actually watch him, like, he was a little dude.
Yeah.
And there's like a joke out there that like Barry Bonds like decided to take steroids at the All-Star game when he got picked up. And then, I mean, because that, like, I only remember him like the single earring, him being yoked, hitting the ball freaking 500 feet. Like that guy was a ton of fun to watch in the steroid era. And anyway, so
he's still a really good player.
Right. And honestly, the thing that's weird about steroids, yes, steroids help you hit the ball further, for sure.
They don't help you hit the ball.
But they don't hit you. Right. Hitting a baseball is still the hardest thing to do in sports. So you're like, yes, steroids are wrong. Kids listening, steroids are not good. Do not take them. However, let's not just say that like you're automatically a really good baseball player if you take steroids. Like, that's not how it works. Like, cool, you're stronger. That does help you, but it's not everything. There's a lot more to baseball than just how strong you are.
Yeah, that doesn't help with your IQ, or it doesn't help with your thought process in the box. It doesn't help you with making contact. Like, Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer even before he took the roids.
It's true. It's true. Speaking of some special performances, dude, Ellie De La Cruz, he has almost double the amount of steals as anybody else in the league. And who's number 2?
Cabby.
So De La Cruz has 30.
You know, Cabby, it says he's 17. He's been thrown out 8 times.
Who has?
Cabby.
Ooh.
Yeah. They just send him.
Send him.
Yeah, they just send him every time.
Baseball. Yeah, so Cabby has 17 and De La Cruz has 30. So literally almost double the amount as number 2. They're just sending De La Cruz. Now, I think we threw him out when he was when we were playing the Reds. I think Cal did throw him out once. I feel like I remember that. I feel like I should look that up.
Ellie's 30 for 35. Cabby's 17 for 25. Bobby Witt is 16 for 22. Joe Adele is 8 for 13. That's horrible. Nicky Lopez is 2 for 6. These are funny to look at.
Yeah. So anyways, that's just a little interesting tidbit that they were talking about on MLB Deadline News. Their Twitter page always like brings up random things, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Jung-Ho Lee is in fact done for the season. We were concerned about that. Obviously, last week we were talking about, dude, anytime young talent, I don't even care what team they play for. Anytime young talent that everybody's really excited about goes down with an injury, like that sucks. Like that's not good for baseball.
No.
So he has a torn labrum that's going to require surgery. Season's over.
And he was playing okay.
Yeah, he was doing good.
He wasn't great,
no,
but he was still easing into the MLB.
Right.
But there goes my Rookie of the Year pick.
Yeah. That's what he was most concerned about. When he went down with injury, he's like, Man,
Yeah, he's like, man, that guy in Lakewood,
I
Washington.
didn't live up to Ethan Nemo's
Yeah.
prediction. Yeah, gosh, I
How
really let
dare.
him down.
How dare.
So the next story in the Around the League is kind of funny to me because all of the stories have been ex-Angels player David Fletcher. Like they don't talk like David Fletcher's not even on the Angels anymore.
No, he's with the
He's
Braves
with the
AAA
Braves.
team.
And they're like ex-Angels, 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 David Fletcher. And he's in trouble.
Mm-hmm. He, in fact, is under investigation for the same bookie that Shohei used. Or not Shohei.
Excuse me?
Ippei.
Dang.
It could have been Shohei.
No, it was not Shohei. That has been proven. Don't
Not
feed
Shohei.
the
Ippei.
conspiracy. Yeah, so David Fletcher's in hot water, man.
Yeah.
And it seems
He also was also under the news. This was like a day after. He pitched in a AAA game, and he threw all knuckleballs.
And he dealt.
I'm like, of course.
Of course.
Braves moment.
Of course.
So, yeah, not Shohei.
Not Shohei. I pay.
Oh.
Okay, so this whole Pete Alonso thing is funny. I actually put a post up on X where I just looked up the StatCast or whatever of Pete Alonso, and I went and looked at his Savant page.
It's not that great.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of it and I said, hey, guess this player. And there was a bunch of guesses on there for different people. Nobody guessed Pete Alonso. And I'm like, this is the guy people want to trade for. And he's in the last year of his deal. So it would be a rental with no guarantee of an extension. And I'm like, he just declined a 7-year, $158 million contract extension last summer.
With the Mets.
Who pay. He declined it. He's going to be a free agent after this year. And there's people that want the Mariners to trade for the polar bear. And are you one of them?
No.
You're not. Okay.
I'm not.
We are officially on the book as saying we do not want. I don't want him either. Honestly, all the people are clamoring for him. I'm like, you guys are clamoring for the Pete Alonso that you watched in the home run derby 2 years ago. Like it's not the same guy. His Savant page is a disaster. It's not. It's blue all over the place. He's batting what 212, I think, and only has like 10 bombs. I mean, so like it's not like he's bad.
236, 11 homers, 24.
Okay, so
ribbies.
yeah, those stats are a little bit from probably last week, but yeah, so I'm like low 200s, 11 home runs. I'm like, yeah, that's not bad. Would I take that on our team? Yes, but would I trade prospects for that?
And Ty France?
Like, no, I wouldn't. Especially because Ty France is a captain. Like, again, we're going to talk about this in just a second. Like, people are now talking about Vlad Jr. for us too, and I'm like, yeah, but if we trade for one of these guys, who is he replacing? It's going to be Ty. And Ty France, as much as he hasn't had the best year this year, he's a team captain. Guys, listen, like he's an influencer on the team.
He's been better than people give him credit.
Also that.
Yeah, like
he's also been clutch.
He's been clutch. Like he cannot hit with runners on base or without runners on base. I'm just fluking up my words today. There's no one on base. He's not really hitting that well, but runners in scoring position, he's just doing just fine.
Right. And I mean, he single-handedly helped us beat the Yankees a couple days ago. Yeah, in the comeback win.
He's rare to have his 0 for 10s, 0 for 15.
The game that we beat the Orioles, like he was a part of that win too. Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying, and his defense is good to above good, like a little bit good plus. All I'm saying is Pete Alonso, like he's a good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying what it would take to get him, and then also only a rental. Guarantee you Scott Boras doesn't let him sign an extension with the team that he gets traded to. So it really would be an actual rental situation.
Yeah.
Is he going to be the next victim to Scott Boras offseason? Like seems like it.
Could be.
He's probably going to be one of the highest talked about. We're going to say his name a lot this offseason, I'm sure.
I also think Pete's a little bit of a weirdo, personally. Just saying.
I don't care if he's weird. Does he produce on the field?
Yes.
Okay, then that's all I care about. Dude, I mean, like, I'm weird. You're weird. Like, we're all weird in our own ways, right? Like, let's be real here.
I don't know if I'd meditate during a home run derby, but that's just me.
Hey, you do whatever works, bro. I played with a guy that literally was so superstitious that he didn't change his socks until he went over. And he was really good that year. Like, dude, by the end of the season, like, that pair of socks was, like, crusty and nasty. I'm like, baseball players do some weird stuff, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious, right? But I'm not superstitious.
That was
little office joke.
Little dad joke.
Oh, shut up. I'm a dad. Whatever. But in the tone of the Mets, the reason why this conversation about Pete Alonso is coming up is because they've in the back channels have said that Pete's going to be available. So is JD Martinez.
Yeah, they've just not been good, relatively good this year. They need prospects, considering all the contracts they handed out that didn't work.
They just got swept by the Guardians.
Swept. They're 21-28. They're not playing well at all. They can't hit. They can't pitch. It's just been a rough stretch for the Mets. They're just trying to get off older players,
which we knew. We knew that they were going to suck this year. Anybody that tried to say they were going to be good, I'm like, no, they're not. They're not good. They're not going to be good.
Yeah.
Sticking in New York, though, one being that we're in New York right now, playing New York, but also Juan Soto, I guess, is reportedly not interested in signing an extension with the Yankees.
That's so weird. He looks happy there.
He looks happy there, and he's crushing there. He's doing really well.
So good.
Dude, honestly, the fact that we've kept him at bay for 2 games is actually like crazy.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the break.
Me too. It's going to be one of these games. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it's probably today.
That hit he had against Munoz yesterday.
Yeah, that scared the crap out of me.
Dude, he's so good.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I want a guy like Juan Soto.
I would love the Mariners to break the bank. Just Juan Soto.
Blow the farm for Juan Soto.
Who cares? No, not even blow the farm. He's not signing an extension. It would just be a huge free agent signing. I'm not saying trade for him. I'm saying sign him at the end of this year.
Yeah.
Dude, you're off your game. That's 0 for 3 right there. Jeez, you're batting zeros right now. All I'm saying is Juan Soto is a generational talent. Like, you get one. Could you imagine an outfield with Julio and Juan Soto?
That'd be crazy.
That'd be insane. That'd be fun, dude.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
Juan Soto's, he's just so good.
Yeah, he's so good.
Like, I've never watched, when I watch games, I'm not as intimidated as other players as I am with Juan Soto.
Dude,
like, he is.
Him and Aaron Judge, honestly. And that's what, dude, look at what the Yankees are doing. Could you imagine a lineup with Julio and Soto back to back, having power bats and right and left back to back like that?
Yeah.
That'd be nasty.
Pick your poison.
Right.
You want to go with the righty and then face
Good luck.
Soto, or you want to go with the lefty and face Judge?
Good luck.
Good luck, dude. Luckily, we've been keeping him at bay.
Yeah,
crossed.
But here's the deal. Bryce Miller has gotten shredded by teams like this.
Yeah. Well, he got shelled by them last year.
Yeah, they're going to hunt him early. They're going to go for his fastball. He just saw Brian Woo's fastball at the top of the zone work. We're going to talk about it, but like Brian Woo was getting a 45% whiff rate on his four seam,
dude,
which is insane.
Insane.
But Brian Woo after the game also was like, yeah, I was just sitting at the top of the zone, and guys are afraid to do that against the Yankees. And I'm like, yeah,
attack
for good reason.
Yeah,
though.
like, yeah, look at that team.
I'm not trying to throw high fastballs against Aaron Judge either.
Well,
so that guy can
high
take
fastball
me
Aaron Judge is 6 feet tall.
Right, no kidding. But what I'm saying is, so I guarantee you Bryce Miller is going to try to do the same. He's going to try to hang in the top of the zone with his four seam. It's going to be bad. I don't have a good feeling about today's.
Anything below the belt is going to get smacked.
Yeah. So today's lineup.
To be fair, he has the splitter this year, which he didn't have last year.
He got hit really hard his last outing.
But I'm talking about against the Yankees.
The Orioles. Ugh.
No, but I'm talking about against the Yankees.
Yeah.
Like, the Yankees last year crushed him.
They put their A+ lineup in today. Like, Stanton's back in the lineup. They're trying to get a win today.
Yeah.
So
we're not.
And we are not. So it's anyways. Okay. Garrett Whitlock was having a great season for the Red Sox. So we're just staying in the AL East. And dude, these transitions, man, I keep doing this on accident. This is awesome. He has a partial ligament tear in his elbow, which sucks. Dude, I'm so sad. Like, I feel like every week there's another pitcher going down with an elbow.
Yep.
And
elbow, forearm, shoulder.
Yeah, surgery is going to be a possibility. So this is something I really wanted to bring up. I feel like this is going to be a big conversation. Toronto Blue Jays sucked this year, which we foresaw. We knew that. We had a feeling they were going to fall off. They have. And now it sounds like there's murmurs, whispers that Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichette are going to be available from Toronto. Both of them have their contracts through 2025. Are you interested?
In Bo?
In either, both?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay, no, don't
How
say.
How can you not be?
Don't say obviously, because again, who are they replacing? So if we went and got Bo Bichette, what does that say about J.P. Crawford? You put Bo at second?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or do you replace JP? You're not replacing a team captain.
You're not replacing JP. I mean, yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think I would take Vlad.
I'm not a big dude. I know this is going to cause.
You're not a big Vlad fan.
I'm not a big Vlad fan, dude. I'm really not.
But he's been producing better than Ty. which
not by much. I mean, look at his stats. It's not really. I mean, his strikeout percentage is obviously lower, but like his stat line, his slash line isn't that much better than Ty Francis. So his slash line is 279,
which is
374,
35 points higher than Ty France.
385, and then his OPS is 759 with 4 home runs.
So say Vlad's slash line again, and I'll compare it to Ty France.
So 279,
242,
374,
289,
385
379,
with an OPS of 759
668,
and 4 home runs.
Ty has 5.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's better. It is better, but
Vlad's is better.
But is it so much better that you're
Vlad's defense is also horrible.
Right. Well, I mean, his fielding percentage is 991. That's actually not terrible. That actually,
it's not terrible.
I was actually surprised by that number, to be honest.
But it's more of a range number.
Yeah.
And about outs above average number, which I think he had -15 last year, which is horrible for first base.
And you know what? I only have memories of his glove blowing out. Do you remember that game?
I remember that game
where the ball went through the webbing.
It's happened a few times to him.
Yeah, I don't know why, dude. I just listen, Vlad. I grew up watching Vlad Guerrero Sr., who was a dog.
Yeah.
And like 8 teams alive. He could hit balls like Mike Trout where they're at the bottom of the zone and he's like golfing them out. Like I remember watching Vlad Guerrero in his prime and was a stallion. And his son, like, dude, Vlad Jr. is good. I think he's just overhyped, if I'm being real. I don't know. If they made a trade for him, I don't know how I'd feel about it. I don't think I'd be.
People are
psyched,
trying to get a little. Can you go back to 2021 for him? No, that was 3 years ago.
Just like Ty France can't go back to 2022 for him, guys.
Yeah, it's like
right. It's not. It's just not. It's
it
a different.
Can't happen as much as you want it to happen. Which I mean, it'd be great.
And generally, as guys get older, they don't get better. That's not generally how that works.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. So okay. So Vlad. You're more in the camp of you would take Vlad, but not Bichette. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yes, because Bichette, the only reason you'd get him is to move him to second base.
And his defense is blech.
Yeah. At shortstop, though.
Right.
Which you can move him to second base and he'd be probably better, I assume. That's normally how it works.
And Bichette, his bat is not great this year.
But I mean, he'll pick it up. He'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he led the league in hits 2 of the last 3 years. He's been fine.
Yeah.
He's been great, actually. Really good contact hitter, hits for power. Basically just an all-around good hitter.
I just am
came in the league.
So the only thing is with both of these guys, the rumors coming out that they're available, the rumors also coming out that Toronto wants a ton in return. As they should.
Because part of it is that they kind of failed the offseason, so they're trying to make it up by removing these guys for a haul.
And resetting.
And retooling.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Because they didn't go after Shohei. They didn't get Chapman back. They didn't.
But the plane tracker said Shohei was coming to Toronto.
They missed on a ton of free agents. Right. Didn't acquire people via trade.
They had a really bad offseason.
They had a really bad offseason. So now they're trying to make up for it by getting a haul for one of them, which probably won't happen. I could see the Jays turning it around.
I could see them. I don't. The AL East is really strong this year.
Yes. I don't know. Some inside thinks that they could possibly turn it around. Because, I mean,
do you know why? It's because they feel
Bo's hitting 230.
But they feel like the Rays, which is somehow we think they suck every year, and somehow they end up in the playoff hunt every year.
Like the Rays are 500.
Right.
How?
No, I'm just saying, like, I feel like every year I'm like, oh, the Rays aren't going to be very good this year. And then we get to September and I'm looking at the playoff and I'm like, oh, dude, I have to watch Rays games because they're right in this thing. Same with Toronto.
They're in the thick of it every year.
Always right there.
Yeah. You know, the Rays won 99 games last year?
Right.
Like,
how? And then again, like that's the people, and we're going to talk about this later, but I'm like, again, it's like the people that are counting out the Astros because of the first quarter of the season. I'm like, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere. Like the fact that they're all out of
I won't have an opinion about them being dead until I literally see it.
Right.
Because they made 7 straight ALCS appearances.
Right.
I can't argue against that.
No. And they will turn it around and they're going to be right in the thick of it in September.
In which?
No matter.
They're not going to be able to afford Tucker and Bregman, by the way.
Right. Oh, no. They're losing at least one of those guys in the offseason, but we'll get there.
I love it.
Quickly, Padres released Matt Festa. Do you think Jerry kicks the tires?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he does too. With our bullpen being where it's at, they have comfortability with Matt. The thing that I love is that we traded Matt Festa and then to the Twins, right?
Oh, was it the Royals? It feels like
It wasn't
the
the Royals. It wasn't the Royals.
No, was it Carlos Santana? Was that the trade? I feel like it was.
Oh, it was to the Mets.
It was to the Mets. Okay. Who did we get in that deal? Whatever. So I think Jerry will kick the tires on Festa just because Jerry likes reunions with relievers, and our bullpen has been mightily struggling for our standards, at least. Moving on, Nelson Cruz got hired by the MLB as a special advisor for baseball operations. Good for him.
Cool
Stay
move.
in the game.
Cool move.
We know Nelly is such a good guy. If he gets to the Hall of Fame, he will be a Mariner.
I think he should. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get in the Hall of Fame.
If he doesn't,
Yeah,
didn't he do roids though?
If he does not,
back in like 2010 or something.
Nobody talks about that.
Okay, whatever. Moving on to the last bit of news. If you have not watched Paul Skeens throw,
he's disgusting
for the Pirates. Go to a TV and watch him throw.
He's everything we thought he was going to be.
He's even better than people thought. Like, he's already a top 15, 20 pitcher.
So he's faced the Cubs twice. His first outing, he gave up a couple runs. It wasn't as sharp. And then his second outing against them was stupid. He had a perfect game through.
How does he throw so hard?
5 or 6, I think. Dude, he has 17 inches of run.
On a 4-seam fastball.
On a 100 miles an hour fastball.
Yeah. It's not even a 2-seam. It's a 4-seam.
How do you hit that?
Insane.
How do you have 17 inches of run on a 4-seam? Can you explain that to me?
And he's 6'6".
Right. So he's coming downhill at you.
Yeah, like 54 feet away, 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, good luck.
His slider's been gross. His splitter's been gross. He throws a splitter 96 miles an hour.
Yeah. Dude, Pittsburgh, I'm telling you, Pittsburgh is on the up.
Him and Jared Jones are going to be a 1-2 combo for the ages.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Agreed. All right, man. We are around the league. Let's get into Mariners updates. All right, so this first one that we're going to talk about is ironic because the lineup came out for today.
Of course.
And already addressed this. So the whole Jorge Polanco thing has been kind of a disaster the last week.
Yeah, I don't understand. So he got injured on May 13th in the game. He had not played. He was not in the lineup until this morning.
Right.
What is going on? They've basically been playing with a 25-man roster for the last week and a half.
In a brutal stretch of games.
Yeah.
Like, why are we not just putting him on the IL and calling someone up? Now, granted, I was clamoring to bring up Sam Haggerty, which we'll give that update and injuries later. But I'm like, anybody would be better just to at least have an option on the bench. He's just been sitting there with a hamstring issue doing nothing.
And they were playing with Rivas, who never played, and Zavala, who also never played. So they're pretty much running 10 people.
Right.
For a week.
In a brutal stretch against the AL East.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? But of course, you put this note in there for us to talk about it today. And Polanco's back in there today. So we'll see what it looks like. Pretty right-handed heavy lineup today against the Yankees. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I just don't have
I don't have
a good feeling about today. But speaking of yesterday, Brian Wu was absolutely lights out. We'll get into it more specifics in the game log, but we did want to bring up that he has given up 1 earned run in 27 innings this year,
including the rehab starts. That's insane. I don't know what ERA that is because I don't want to do the math right now. Actually, I'm going to do it. 0.33 because that's just 9 times 3. 0.33 ERA in 27 innings. By the way, I want to say this about Brian Wu. Do you think he has like one of the most natural throwing motions you've ever seen?
It does not look like he's throwing it at all.
Yeah.
It does not look like he's throwing hard.
Like, it's just so simple.
It's smooth.
Yeah. Super smooth.
It doesn't look violent at all. And I'm like, how are you getting
so like majestic? It's a great word.
Yeah, but like the run that he gets, the arm slot that he's in is really low too, which is really weird. It's not sidearm though. I can't.
It's so weird.
It is weird. It is really weird because
it's weird, but it's smooth.
Right. Because it's not a sidearm. It's not, and he's not over the top, but his arm angle,
the way his body just gets so low.
He's so low, and that's right. And honestly, that's what I actually teach my young pitchers. So, I'm helping out with my son's little league team as high school stuff is done. I'm now little league, and with all those guys, I'm like, dude, load up on the back leg, smooth transition, and stay low.
And fire.
And every time they do that, like they're locked in. And the second they get out of that, then that's where stuff goes sideways. And so Brian Wu, it's crazy because he's tall. Isn't he like 6'2" or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, not like super tall, right? But I'm just saying, like, he's above average. Like, he's taller, and he gets super low to the ground. And then, yeah, the way that his release point is,
it's literally like that,
right?
But when he's lower to the ground,
yeah, it's
the center of gravity is just really low.
Yeah. Anyways, he's a dog, but he's not the only pitcher that's been a dog.
Yeah. As Luis Castillo has made 7 straight starts of 6 innings pitched while allowing 2 earned runs or fewer. Longest streak in the MLB this season, and the longest since James Paxton back in 2017.
For the Mariners. Yeah.
For the Mariners. Man.
Honestly, this is
that number, 6 innings pitched and 2 earned runs, has been like the theme of the season so far for the pitching staff.
Right. And that's honestly why people still consider him an ace. Like, remember all the arguments about who is the real ace? Is it Kirby? Is it Gilbert? Is it him? That stat right there is what makes it him. Now,
and it's been really quiet.
Right. And it's not flashy. And here's the thing, dude. The really hard part about Mariners fans is we're spoiled in this way. I'm not going to pull a Jeff Passan, right? We're not spoiled in the sense that, like, we've had all these playoff appearances, whatever. But, like, we had the utter pleasure of watching Felix Hernandez throw for years. And so it's skewed how we think about starting pitchers. If your ace is giving up 2 earned runs or fewer every start, that is ace stuff, dude. That is ace stuff.
Yeah, like we had the pleasure of watching Felix, of watching Kuma for a while,
right?
Of watching Paxton, and then all these guys.
And so we get a little bit like, oh man, he gave up 3 runs. What a bad outing. I'm like, dude, Logan Gilbert giving up three runs the other day, like, that's solid
against the Yankees. Yeah,
I take that all day. Like, that's a great start against a really good team. The Yankees are number 1 in a bunch of offensive categories, dude. Like, I will take that start from a starter all day and twice on Sunday.
Yep.
Right. And so I'm just like, man, Luis Castillo is holding it down, and he has been Lepidra. He has been the rock of our rotation.
He started slow too, and he's picked it up.
He really did start not fantastic and has definitely picked it up.
It's so weird because, like, sometimes every once in a while I like won't tune into a game because I'm so busy. But then I feel like I haven't watched a Castillo start in months. It's been weird. I feel like I've watched everybody else throw except him.
Well,
maybe that's why it's been so quiet.
I was gonna say maybe we need to keep it that way.
Yeah.
I'm not superstitious though.
I'll see you in October, Luis.
Yeah. Actually, don't even watch it then.
Yeah, don't even watch it. I'll see you next year, Luis.
But man, we've had some really late games that are close, like some games that are tight at the very end.
That the 2023 Mariners do not win, by
right?
the way.
And I posted that the other day. I was like, our comeback win that we're going to talk about when we get to game logs, the comeback win against the Yankees. 2023 Mariners don't win that game.
No,
the 2023 Mariners, if you give up a lead late or don't have a lead,
give up a lead at all,
right? Or if you don't have a lead after 7, you can just turn your TV off and go about your day, right? This team is different. This 2024 season for the Mariners is different. And part of the reason why it's different is, according to Mariners PR, again, I love Mariners PR, dude. That handle always has really cool stats.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh leads the AL with a 1.042 OPS in late and close situations, minimum 30 plate appearances.
Feels right, too. It feels right.
Dude, how clutch has he been this year? He's been unbelievable. Like, I think about the home run against Houston in the late. I think about the grand slam against Minnesota, right? Like, you can think of like all these different games that he's had a clutch hit. The double he just had against Baltimore. Yeah. Bro, I'm just saying Cal has been an absolute dog. And Jerry DiPoto came out and said it. In a late game situation, for whatever reason, it always tends to be him somehow.
Yeah, from either side of the plate.
And he's coming up at random places. They've had him as 3? I think he's been the 3, and they've had him as low as the 6 or 7. Like, he's all over the place in the lineup. So it's not like that place in the lineup just keeps coming up. Those spots at the end of games just keep coming up. And like Jerry DiPoto said, he comes through more times than he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And having a guy like that you're like, dude, this is the guy we want at the plate right now, that's priceless, honestly. What is your face? What are you seeing?
Well, the Mariners PR just checked their account. It says Jonathan Diaz selected from AAA Tacoma and then option to Tacoma. So he must have been down as opt out in the contract and then opted back in. He's now been added to the 40-man roster, though, too.
Oh, that's good news.
So, yeah. I watched him play long toss the other day, by the way. 400-foot long toss. Like, insane. Like, with no whip in the arm.
Oh, we didn't put this in the notes, but Ethan and I went to a Rainiers game on
Yep.
Sunday together. That was a Mount T day or whatever at the Rainiers. And we were watching Vargas's bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
That arm is live.
Yeah. Although he did come in the game and throw 94.
Right, which was weird.
He's normally upper 90s, but, dude, you can hear the ball.
He was still dealing.
He was, yeah. And his slider's nasty.
Yeah.
Maybe a hint for things to come.
Hint.
Yeah.
Get Bolton off this team, please.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyways, speaking of Bolton, dude, Tyson Miller, the DFA just continues to perplex me.
Yep.
I don't get it. Every time Bolton goes in, I know he's given up at least a run. Like, I don't know why.
Or Thornton with runners inherited.
And they've been putting Thornton into really high leverage spots too.
And it hasn't worked.
It hasn't worked. It literally didn't work. Yeah, gosh. Yeah, yesterday's game got really stressful really quick. We were up 4-0 and cruising. And then Thornton comes in, has a 2-strike count.
Has him 0-2, gets him back to full,
and
then gives up a 3-run
And then gives
tank.
up a 3-run tank when we're out. Yeah, dude. So anyways, I honestly, I saw Casey Sadler went on X and was like, hey, like, I'm back in form. I'm healthy. And he's like trying to get Mariners fans to like petition to get him back in the league. I wouldn't mind seeing where he's at. Casey Sadler, when he was with us, was a dog.
Yeah. You just don't know if he's the same guy because that was also 3 years ago.
True.
How did he do last year? He was with Tacoma for a bit last year. I know that. I don't know how he did, but it obviously wasn't enough to be called up to the big league club, and then he got hurt. So he's had injury problems a lot.
Yeah,
too.
It's true.
I mean, his sinker was gross. His slider was gross. He had that 1 year in 2021 where he had like a 0.9 ERA. Like I said, we just don't know if he's the same guy that he used to be. So it's unfortunate, but take a flyer on him. Put him in Tacoma.
And see what happens.
Yep. Moving on, the Mariners moved into the top 10 of MLB Power Rankings that come out every Monday. Honestly, I'm surprised by it. I thought we would be in the 11-12 range. Normally, MLB Network, MLB.com, don't show the greatest amount of love to us sometimes. But it was cool to see that. If these rankings come out next week again and we keep playing the way we are, we'll definitely be 9, 8, possibly 7. So,
well, us beating teams like the Yankees is crazy. I mean, the fact that we locked up a series split against the Yankees already,
you get popularity for beating the Yankees too.
Yeah.
Like,
especially when the Yankees are good.
Oh yeah, like everybody's watching the Yankees when they're good.
Right.
Now everyone's the Mariners, blah blah blah. I hate this guy. You should have seen the Yankees on Twitter yesterday.
They hate Dylan Moore.
They hate Canzone.
Yeah.
Who's like, who the heck is this Canzone guy?
Right. Well, because he had 2 diving catches yesterday.
Yep.
Is this where you want to? We didn't put this in the notes at all. You want to insert your text about Canzone yesterday?
Oh, I was very much
into
moved
the pod
by this Dominic Canzone defensive performance.
Let's go, dude. I'm just saying, like, Dominic Canzone, his defense, he does take some weird angles at balls from time to time. He had that play early on that put a bad taste in everybody's mouth where he like jogged to the ball in the corner.
It still has a little
and gave up a triple instead of a double. Bro, it was one play forever ago. Like, Dominic Canzone's defense is decent. I'm not saying he's a plus outfielder. He's not. But he's good and maybe good plus, right? Like, he can make plays like yesterday. Listen, those 2 diving catches he had against the Yankees, that's a different game if those balls land first. Second of all, Mitch Haniger doesn't make those plays.
No.
So I go, those 2 plays right there are why I really, really, really want to see a Mitch Haniger, Dominic Canzone platoon, or Luke Raley at least Canzone with, or platoon with Haniger.
I've been shocked of how they put Canzone in right. I feel like Raley has better arm.
Yeah, right. Why would I? Right. I thought Raley Haniger platoon made way more sense. But here's the deal: they only want to put Dylan in left because Dylan has no arm.
Yeah.
So like today, Dylan's playing left field because Polanco's back and playing second, and JP's back. He's playing short. So Demo is out in left. Thank God that Scott actually is playing Demo because he's absolutely raking right now. But so when you put Demo in left, you have to you kind of have to put Canzone in right if you want that bat in there.
Yeah, no, I agree. But also Mitch is in right today. But But what I'm saying, if you're going to put Canzone and Rayleigh in the field together, I would most likely put Rayleigh in right and Canzone in left. But that's just preference, I guess, for Scott. I don't know. It's pretty odd. Dylan Moore and Brian Wu visited the MLB Network studio that's located in New York. Brian Wu had a pretty good piece with Rachel Shahadi over there at MLB Network, talking about like the A's moving to Las Vegas, about how Brian Wu was an Oakland fan growing up. Dylan Moore talked with Bill Ripken and Mark DeRosa about his hitting preferences, how he seeks heaters all the time, and then he goes out and rakes against the Yankees. But some pretty cool tidbits there. Moving on, the Mariners now have 6 prospects in Baseball America's top 100.
Yep.
And they're all hitters.
I was going to say, how many of them are pitchers?
None of them.
Right.
So Cole Young is number 37. Colt Emerson is number 39. Harry Ford, 51. He's slipped a little bit in the past few years. Lazaro Montes is 83. And Tyler Locklear and Johnny Farmelo have joined the top 100, with Locklear being 98 and Farmelo being 100.
It's huge, man. Huge. Having 6 is huge. That one that gives us ammunition for the deadline, to be able to say we have.
To be fair, all 6 give you ammunition for the deadline.
True. But also, not only that, to have hitters, I said this again the other day too, we are going to have at some point the same type of wave that we had with the starting pitching. So you think about it, our starting pitching, we had a wave of Logan and then Kirby, right? And then we had Miller and then Wu. So we had that like boom, 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 boom. 2 years, we had all 4 of those guys up. We're going to have the same situation with these hitters. We're going to have a wave. We're going to have a wave of 1 to 2 years where we get like 4 or 5 call-ups of these dudes. Yeah. And that could be where we actually make a run for like a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like that's where you say, hey, we're contenders now for years because of these waves that are hitting.
Yeah. Like next year, you could be like, oh, here's Young and Ford. And then the next year, here's Locklear and whoever. And then here's Emerson and Montes the next year. If they don't get moved at the deadline, of course, which we'll get into. But yeah, dude, all these guys are raking, by the way. This isn't even including Clase, who's in other top 100s, Ty Pete, who's in other top 100s. Stacked. All hitters.
Right.
Just insane stuff.
And like Aiden Smith. Like there's so many names in here of like guys that are actually crushing that like don't get
Feldman.
That don't get the shine. Yeah, Feldman's not on this list. So and those guys are all like due. Like they will. You know,
all 9 of those guys that we just mentioned are hitters.
Yep.
Like unreal.
Yep. And I'm excited to see, man. I'm excited to see it. And that's what one of the things I love about baseball is like you always have things to look forward to and things now.
Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's basically remember the spring training game they had with all the prospects? Basically that.
Right.
That lineup.
Or you could look at Modesto.
Yeah, or you could look at the first 7 hitters at Modesto.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, Arroyo's not on this list, right? Like,
that is, geez.
Yeah,
Callie's not on this list.
Callie's not on this list. I'm just saying, dude, like we're stacked. We have like 12 guys that you could argue could be in the top 100. So anyways, little note from Inside Edge on X, the Mariners are batting .319 with runners in scoring position over the last 14 days, which is the 3rd best in MLB, and the league average is .253.
It also feels like we've struck out less.
It hasn't, though.
With runners on.
What's funny is I actually saw a random stat that we are undefeated this year. Undefeated when we strike out exactly 11 times.
What, 1-0?
No, we're like, it's dumb. We're like 8-0 when we strike out 11 times. Something stupid like that. I don't know. I'd have to go look it up again.
But it feels like we've been striking out less when runners are on.
We have been striking out less when it matters.
Yes.
Is a better way to say it.
Yes.
And that stat shows that. We've been really clutch at the end of games. We've been really clutch in big moments. The one note that I did see
there's starting to be a little bit of a form of an offensive identity.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Right.
I know I had mentioned a few weeks ago that there was no identity whatsoever.
And there's still really not.
It's get their starter out, make him eat his pitch count early, and then do your work on the bullpen. That's pretty much what it's been.
And hit the best arms in baseball.
Yeah, somehow.
Yeah.
Except Corbin Burns.
Yeah, except Corbin. No, I meant like closers and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All the bullpens.
That's what I mean is all the best bullpen arms. Hey, let's go tag the the guy that hasn't given up any earned runs this year. Let's go put 4 on him.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
And the Orioles.
Cool. But man, the last thing I wanted to bring up before we get into injury updates is we've been seeing reports about this team culture that's different.
Which is so good.
And
it's so good.
And so Scott said it, and then a bunch of the media heads. Now, granted, they could always be just serving us a pile of whatever, but they are all saying that this is the hardest working group that they've ever coached, ever. And Scott brought up a story where literally Julio and Rojas are in the back of the plane working on their swing. And it wasn't just Julio to Rojas. He said the cool part is that they're actually helping each other. Like, what do they see? What are they doing? How do they develop? So Rojas was hot, and Julio was picking his brain. Generational talent, humbling himself to being like, hey, bro, what are you seeing?
Yeah.
That's
I love it.
That's epic. That's baseball. The best teams.
Those are teammates.
Ethan, this is the best. I guarantee you're going to say the exact same thing. The teams I remember playing on that were the best were the teams that when a dude struck out, he's coming back to the dugout and he's telling his teammates what he learned.
Yeah.
I can tell you that has been the number one indicator of, is this a healthy culture and is this a team that's fighting and wanting to win, is when they strike out, are they telling each other what they're seeing?
It's guys that want each other to succeed instead of just being selfish.
Right.
That's the way you can put it.
Yeah. Medita, right? Medita is looking to celebrate the success of others, right? That's huge. Yeah. And so for us to have that, and you can tell these guys like each other.
Yeah.
Like these
Last
guys
year felt a little bit on the selfish
and
side.
you wonder if that was Jared. Like, I don't want to put it on one
same
guy.
thing. I just didn't want to say it. I was literally thinking.
Listen, I always say the things that nobody else wants to. Is there?
It wasn't Teoscar.
No, and it wasn't Gino.
Yeah, it wasn't Gino.
So you wonder, like, does Jared cared and was passionate and whatever, but maybe it was very self-oriented. I don't know.
Was it Colton Wong?
No, he didn't have enough influence.
Was it
AJ Pollock? The poison.
Wait, that's actually not that bad of a take. I don't know.
Does he have a reputation for that?
I don't know.
I don't think he does.
Was it a pitcher's thing? Was it a Robbie Ray thing?
I don't know.
Was it?
All I know is that this team this year feels like they really like each other.
Marco thing?
They like being around each other. It was definitely not Marco. Marco's awesome. So let's get into some injury updates here. Santos is actually with the team on the road trip, and he actually was quoted as saying, like, it's just good to be a part of the squad.
Yeah.
Dude, Canzone was talking about his rehab, by the way. He was down in Phoenix, like, by himself. And he's like, dude, I was just, like, so lonely. He's like, I'm down in Phoenix. I'm rehabbing. I'm watching every game. And I'm just, like, dying to
want to be there.
The squad. Yeah. Just want to be back with the guys. And so he said the best thing, because I think it was Shannon, our best friend, was asking Canzone, like, what did you miss the most about, like, being up? Did you want to be a part of this run where they're winning? And he's like, obviously I want to be a part of it. He goes, but I'm just missing the guys. Like, I'm just missing the guys, like being in the clubhouse. And that's huge, dude. That chemistry goes a long way. So anyway, so Santos is back with the team, obviously not playing yet, throwing 90 feet at full effort. And to this point, what we've heard is no setbacks. Just good news.
Thank God.
Yep.
We need him back so bad.
Dude, our high leverage.
By the way, I wanted to mention this. We took the Topa, Brash, Munoz, Seawald, Spire bullpen for granted.
No kidding.
Like,
no,
I don't think we realized how good they really were.
Right. Where if you got to a late game, if you're in 6th, 7th inning and we had the lead, like, we felt good about it.
Like, we knew that they were really good. But, like, now that everybody's gone except Munoz.
Dude, right now when Stanek takes the ball, I'm clenching my teeth. Like, I'm scared.
Like, Voth, Thornton, Bolton.
Dude, if Bolton touches the ball, I'm, like, turning the TV off.
Yeah, the only two people that I trust are Spire and Munoz.
Dude, Spire has not been great lately either.
Yeah. I mean, you're just clenching your teeth.
We desperately need Santos back, for sure. We need another. Honestly, I think what's funny is we felt like the bullpen was a place of strength at the beginning of the year because we thought we had Brash, Santos, and Munoz at the back end of that thing, and Stanek. Like, we're like drooling. We're drooling at the mouth at that. And now it's like we don't have Brash. Santos still isn't back. We only have Munoz. Stanek's gotten hit really flipping hard. And Spire has been really shaky and walking a lot of dudes recently. I'm like, dude, now we go from
Sauce is hurt.
Right. And now we go from a position of strength to we're probably going to make a trade at the deadline for a reliever, dude.
Probably. Or like, now.
Not Mason Miller, right? We're not going to go top shelf, but we are going to probably go get a high leverage.
Maybe you can get a Tanner Scott. maybe you can get a. I don't know. I can't name any other. Michael Kopech. I saw that name a lot yesterday because he's been throwing well for the White Sox. But anyway, yeah. So JP's back, so back. He's gotten one hit since he's returned. Rivas optioned down to AAA.
Good.
They hit him unfairly. Like,
Get him to
he
play.
really didn't play.
He
at
just
all.
sat for like a month.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything.
Yeah.
That poor guy.
He had the legendary first.
They must have hated him, dude. They must have not liked what they saw when he came up.
Well, I mean,
because there was plenty of times that he should have played that he didn't.
But we also didn't think that he would be the one that would have got the call.
True. Like, that's true.
They had planned from the get-go, like, hey, we want a guy who's somewhat ready for the big leagues, who's fine with not playing every day. Like, if you were to, like, imagine if you called up Bliss, right? And then Bliss sat for a month. You'd be pissed.
Yeah, I would be.
But Rivas is, he's a little bit of an older minor leaguer. Like, you just want him to be serviceable and always be ready if need be, which he was. And he played fine when he started. So he did the job, which I'm happy for. Happy for him. Now I get to see him tonight play in Tacoma.
There you go. Saucedo, we know that he hurt his knee. We haven't gotten an update recently. All we know is that Scott said that he'd be out a while when we did get that. The funniest part about Sauce is his personality is amazing. And he's been live streaming the games against New York. And we're getting so many quotable things like 9 innings. We play 9 innings. Like, if you don't play 9, you play.
Say crap about our offense.
You don't play 8. You don't play 7. You don't play 4. You don't play 1. You play 9 innings. Or he's like, I want Munoz. Like, just like, we're getting all these sound bites that are awesome from Sauce.
He's streaming like every day.
Yeah, he's streaming every game now, which is funny. Dude, it'd be funny to see him as a commentator later in his career. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. I want to see him like on the stream when like stuff goes bad.
Right.
He's just sitting there like.
Right. Because he's like, don't talk about our offense.
Good stream, guys.
I'm like, okay. We do see Polanco. He's back from a tight hamstring. We'll see how he plays. Obviously, if they put him in the lineup, they're feeling better about where he's at. Garver is also back from back spasms. He looked good yesterday.
He looked really good yesterday.
Yeah, his swing looked really good. We almost went back-to-back home runs between Ty France and then him, which was cool.
Yeah. And then the bad news, Haggerty tore his Achilles jumping up against the wall in Tacoma, out for the year.
Yeah, and honestly, that's probably the last we're going to see him in a Mariners uniform.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, because his contract is up at the end of the year. And
Achilles, you just never know how speed's going to be when he comes back, and that was a big part of his game. So
poor dude.
And I like.
I'll never forget the run of Ham Swaggerty in 2022,
where he carried the offense.
For 2 weeks and just
against
was
the Braves and the Yankees.
Beast.
Yeah,
and then he had that home run against Houston that was big too. That went into the Crawford boxes.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, that was sick.
2020 Mariners legend Sam Haggerty.
2022.
2020.
I know, but he was a part of the 22. That was when everybody started calling him Ham Swaggerty.
Yeah.
And they had that shirt that had him as like a ham and has his like face on his hilarious.
Well, and then he got hurt right before.
Right. Yeah. That dude just has had some really unlucky injuries at weird times. Getting into our minors really quick. The Rainiers are at 24 and 21. They released Dallas Keuchel. They haven't been winning a lot of games. We went to the game on Sunday against the Bees. They lost in extras.
Their offense they just couldn't cash in any runs.
Yeah, they kept getting guys on and in scoring position, not cashing in. Offense kind of stuttering a bit. Arkansas has been doing okay. They're 21 and 18.
Harry Ford's been on fire.
Yes. But speaking of Harry Ford, Divish came out today and said that he's honestly probably the most likely prospect to get moved. And honestly, that makes sense because here's the deal. If the Mariners are close to extending Cal, which I think they are.
Please.
No, they're not that dumb. They're gonna extend Cal. Cal has said that he wants to be here. Cal has said that he wants to stay in Seattle. And you're talking about a core piece that fans love. He's a fan favorite. It'd be shocking for them not to extend him.
I'd be pissed.
No, they're going to.
I would be livid.
But my point is if we extend Cal, that does make Harry Ford obsolete. It really does, because that means that Harry Ford's going to be blocked for the next decade outside of an injury
Unless
to Cal.
you move his position.
Right, which they're not.
You never know how that's going to go.
Which they're not. So they would have done that already, and the fact that he's still catching tells me that he's going to get moved.
Yeah.
Honest, I'd be shocked if Harry Ford ever saw the field as a Mariner. So he will probably get traded at the deadline, and that'll be one of the big pieces to whatever we do this year.
That means we get a good piece.
Yeah,
Like, for sure.
for sure. Because he'll be a part of it. Yeah.
Yep. Moving on to Modesto, they're 25-13, slid a little bit. Colt Emerson and Ty Pete are out with injuries. Emerson has a fracture in his foot, and Ty Pete has a high ankle sprain. Not good.
The injuries have just been piling up, dude.
Yeah, especially in the minor leagues. Everett, they're just cruising along, 17-21.
They're getting better.
They're getting better, for sure. The promotion of Caleb Callie's helped a little
That's
bit.
going to help. Yep.
And then our ACL team is 8-5. Felnan is just raking, 367.
He's fallen off a little bit. It's funny to say
he's only in
fallen off.
367. He's fallen off with a 1.67 OPS.
Yeah.
He's just been amazing. Call him up, please.
Yeah, let's get him up to Modesto.
Please.
Especially with those guys hurt. Like, why is he not up right now?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
My guess is he'll be up in the next week or so if he continues to do what he's doing. So let's just blast through these game logs. Man, the first game against Baltimore was brutal. So we face Baltimore. Bryce Miller starts. He gets drilled in the first inning. I did post about this. I was mowing the lawn. Threw my AirPods in, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go mow the lawn. I'm gonna listen to the first couple innings of the game." And I'm like out there in the sunshine with my sunglasses on, and I'm mowing, and I'm like progressively like getting more aggressive with the lawnmower.
The mower.
Because Bryce Miller just gets absolutely shelled. They scored 5 before there was even an out recorded. But the best thing about that was that Bryce still somehow got 5 innings through. He only gave up the runs that he gave up in the first inning, and then he cruised the next 4. He only had 1 strikeout, though. And so we did see Cal and Demo have multi-hit games, but overall, really rough game. And honestly, I put this out there. People don't like this, but Baltimore is a step ahead of us. They are. Their lineup is 1 through 9. Their approach is aggressive, and they're looking to hit early strikes and put the ball in play and put pressure on your defense and your pitcher. And when you have your 9 hitter like producing like they were, it's like, dude, we're like Gunnar Henderson. Every time he's up to the plate, I'm like, I'm scared. Just hold him to a single. Like, that's a win.
Potentially walk him.
Right. And you're just like, man, Baltimore right now, as it stands, and people don't like this, but I'm like, as it stands right now, if we went to the playoffs and the playoffs started today, Baltimore beats us. They do.
They're the best team in the American
League. They're the best team in the American League. And they have great pitching, and they have a great lineup 1 through 9, period. Mm-hmm. Period. A guy like Adley Rutschman could have a bad series, which he did against us, by the way. He didn't have a great series against us, and it didn't freaking matter because they're that good. Now, game 2, Castillo start, we squeaked out a win, right? We battled for that one. Castillo went 6 innings, like we said, 2 earned runs. We scored 2 in the 7th and in the 8th each, so we were down 3-0 when that happened. And it was
once we got into their bullpen.
Right. And it was Haniger, it was Ty, and it was Cal scoring all these dudes, and Demo coming up big with an RBI double as well. Munoz comes in, shuts it down. So we get it.
Gunnar took him yard.
And then, of course, people are like trying to dunk on me for like the first one. They're like, see, like we can win. I'm like, I didn't say we couldn't win. I'm saying, like, if you give us 10 games, Baltimore probably wins 7 right now.
7? I'd go 6.
Okay.
But still,
they'd have the majority. I still think they'd have the majority either way. I think they're better than we are. And I think that's okay as long as we admit it and that we go at the deadline. Because right now I'm like, what do the Orioles get at the deadline? I don't think they need to go get anything.
Bullpen arms.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Maybe a starter.
I don't know. I mean, they don't got to go crazy is my point.
No.
They don't have to go crazy at the deadline. And what's funny is they have the prospects.
They have the ammo to do it.
They have the ammo to do it, and I don't think they have to, is my point. I think another leverage arm, they might be the team that goes and gets Mason Miller, honestly.
That's what I was thinking.
Honestly, they have the ammo to do it, and they're not interdivision. Like, if I had to put money on it, I bet the Orioles get Mason Miller at the deadline. I'll put that out there right now.
Yeah, that's not a bad take at all.
Yeah, so get into the next one here.
Moving on to the third game against Baltimore. Kirby started. I didn't watch a ton of it just because we were going to Cheney that day, but the bit that I could watch, I cried my eyes out as we gave up 5 runs in the first 3 innings. They scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Kirby was not sharp. He gave up 9 hits and 5 earned runs in 6 innings pitched. He was able to muster through 6, but at what cost? Luke Raley went 3 for 4 this game, got robbed of a 4th hit by Colton Cowser. He was 3 for 3 off Corbin Burns, but we struck out 11 times. Burns went 7 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts. Urias went 2 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs, which was solid. But other than that, it was just a dead game. We'd come back for a little bit, got into their pen, but then they ended up pulling away by some not great bullpen pitching by us.
Yeah, why do we keep putting Bizardo into games? Can you explain that to me? Like in big spots too.
I always forget Bizarro is a part of the pen.
Right, and he's not good, but yet he's facing, like, again, the game that we're about to talk about right now, he pitched in this game.
Mm.
So the first game against the Yankees, which is honestly probably the best win of the year so far. I mean, it might be recency bias, but it's definitely up there. Logan starts the game, gives up 3 earned runs. Again, not spectacular. Only had 1 strikeout, gave up 8 hits, 6 inning pitch. But again, against a good team like the Yankees, you take that stat line. Like giving up 3 runs, you're like, man, that's, not amazing, but it's great. The Yankees scored 2 in the first inning, which has been a recurring theme. Stroman looked amazing. He had every pitch working for him. Canzone hit a home run that did not look like a home run off the bat.
No, it looked like a weak pop-up.
It looked like a weak pop-up, and then it goes out dead center. You're like, what the heck? So we're down, 4-1 at that point?
Yes.
And then the Mariners go on to score 4 in the 9th inning off of Clay Holmes, who hadn't given up an earned run to that point yet.
Yeah, so a quick play-by-play of that top of the 9th because I had a TBC game, so I wasn't even paying attention. I saw your text, and then I was like,
yeah, I was freaking out.
So Rojas grounds out to start the inning. Julio gets an infield hit. Cal walks. Rayleigh gets an infield single. And then Glaber throws into the dugout. So Julio scores. Cal goes to third, second, and third with 1 out. Handy got an RBI single, which scored Cal. So we have, guys first and third with 1 out. Demo walks, bases loaded, 1 out. Canzone hits a sac fly.
So that sac fly looked more gone than the one that he actually hit.
He just hit it so high. It had 44-degree launch angle.
He also bat flipped it.
Yes.
Goofball. So it means he barreled it and thought he had it.
No, he barreled it.
Especially because the
101.
Especially because it was the right field fence. Like that's a short porch.
Yeah.
So he thought he hit a grand slam. Didn't. Sac flied, which scored Rayleigh.
Tied the game.
Which scored Rayleigh, and then Mitch moved over from second to third, which is a productive out. That happens every game.
And then Ty France hits an RBI single on a 2-0 count to take the lead. So, amazing comeback. Then you got to do the job, finish it. Munoz comes in.
And who is coming up? Volpe,
Soto,
Judge. Yikes.
So Volpe strikes out.
So we're
on
feeling
a bunch
good.
Of sliders.
Feeling good.
Yeah. And then Juan Soto gets a single.
And I'm going, oh, dude, Judge. And this
Judge is the winning run.
So here's the deal. 2023, if we make a comeback like this, we're like, oh, Judge walks us off right here.
Yeah.
And he does. Right? Like he totally does in 2023. 2024.
That base hit by Juan Soto, by the way,
was brutal.
Like 2-seam on the outside corner, and he just flips it.
How do you get that?
Field. How do you hit that?
How do you hit that?
That only Juan Soto does.
But then Judge strikes out looking. I wish there was a backward K in the keyboard. I'm sure there's a way to do it. But Judge backwards K because Munoz throws a 101 mile an hour 2-seam backdoor fastball where it starts off the plate and works back on to get the corner. And it was as strike as a strike gets. I mean, there was no debate. Yankees fans were trying to say that was a ball. It's like, dude, on the Gamecast, on the EQC tracer, on everything, it was a strike.
The Yankees tracer.
On the tracer, on every tracer, it was a strike. Absolutely disgusting pitch.
That pitch was just...
That might be the pitch of the year so far for our bullpen.
Considering who was hitting,
yeah.
He goes slider, slider, slider. Fastball freezes him. Like pitcher's pitch. At 101 miles.
And if somehow Judge did go get that, like he's not hitting that ball out.
Yeah.
Right? If he somehow did. And then Verdugo grounds out to Dylan Moore, and that's the game.
Dude, I loved Dave Sims and Mike Blower's call when he threw that 101. It was just... Because they talk like fans.
Right.
That's what I love about them. They talk like a dad sitting in the 6th row.
Hey now, hey now, hey now. I just think it's dumb. I'm like, add anything else.
He doesn't do that all the time, though.
I hate his hey now. I'm not going to lie. I just think it's dumb, but whatever. I like Dave Sims.
He gets Verdugo to ground out to end the game. So big sigh of relief right there. And the big thing about that, in a 4-game series, that's game 1. Like, you get a ton of momentum.
Right.
Anyway.
And then that momentum leaked into game 2 where it felt like we were actually in control the whole game. So as the Woos start, he goes 6 innings, only gives up 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 7 Ks, no walk. Just absolute domination.
Yeah.
This is our 5-starter, dude. This is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying early on in the year. Like, this is our 5-starter. That is dumb. Your 5-starter does that to the Yankees in Yankee Stadium? Does it get any better than that? So he throws 77 pitches. That's it. And 58 of which were strikes. And then Demo has the freaking game of his life, has 2 home runs and an RBI single to tag on to that. Ty France finally is swinging like a champion, like we know he can. Daddy hacked to left field. Garver almost goes back-to-back with a double right behind him. Demo singles him in. Spire came in and did not look great.
He walked
2.
He walked 1 and hit 1. He hit
Right.
Rizzo.
Right. And then Thornton gives up a 3-run jack with 2 outs and a full count. And now we're up 4-3. So all of a sudden we're like, oh, like here come the Yankees because they can put them on you really fast. Luke Raley comes back, hits a solo shot to put us up 5-3, and then Demo goes yard again in the top of 9 and just takes their soul.
Did you notice how, by the way, the guy that they brought in the 8th inning against Raley, did you see how short that guy was?
No.
He was 5'6".
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, I noticed it right away. I'm like, how tall is this guy? But his first pitch as a Yankee gets sent yard, and then they DFA'd him after the game, by the way.
No way.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I actually love that.
Yeah.
But anyways.
I put in the notes.
Yeah.
The team is 22-14 when Luke Raley plays the whole game. Wow.
Cool.
Look at that.
Cool. All right, let's get into our division updates really fast. We got to blast through.
Yep.
Division updates. Houston is trying to rebound and trying to get going here, but they're surging. They're not. They just lost a series to the Angels, which feels weird. So I'm like, as soon as I feel like the Houston Astros are like starting to surge and like get back, it's going to be really interesting when we see them this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. They lost a series to the Angels. That was really surprising, by the way.
I'm shocked.
I'm shocked by that. And their one win was a walk-off win.
Right.
They traded Brandon Belak to the A's for cash considerations,
which is a weird move considering they have struggles in the bullpen.
Yeah,
they must not like him at all.
I don't know.
I don't.
Moving on to Texas, there's just not really much going on with the Astros. Moving on to Texas, they've been struggling. They are now 1 game under 500. Their hitting has not been great.
Their pitching has been terrible.
Pitching's been god awful.
Which we figured it was going to happen.
Injuries are starting to catch up to them, like
Josh
we thought. Young, White Langford, those guys. I mean, they have Josh Smith hitting 5th today.
This is why
they're playing right now.
This is why we need to take advantage of this window.
They're playing the Phillies too.
Yeah,
they're up 1-0 though. Texas is on the Phillies. They tagged
in what inning?
The first.
Oh,
they tagged Taijuan Walker in the first.
Oh, Taijuan.
Yeah,
Mariners legend.
Moving on to the Angels, they beat the Rangers and the Astros in back-to-back series somehow.
Hey, we'll take it.
They acquired Ronzi Contreras from the Pirates, who was recently DFA'd. He's okay. I mean, 4.5 ERA. Has some good stuff, but just can't throw strikes sometimes. It's whatever. Moving on to Oakland, they finally fell back down to earth. Brent Rooker stays hot. Mason Miller continues to be amazing. The best closer in baseball, the best reliever in baseball. But they haven't really gotten much production out of anybody else, basically since our series with them. So that's pretty much it. As the standings go, the A's are in last at 20-30. The Angels are tied with them at 20-30 for 4th. The Astros are in 3rd at 22-28. God, those are horrible.
Told you they're climbing back.
3rd place at 22-28, though. The Rangers are in 2nd at 24-25, and your Seattle Mariners at 27-22.
We need to build on that, dude. Like, we got to take advantage of. Like, we cannot get complacent just because we're in first now. That doesn't matter. That does not matter. So, all right, let's get into our player of the week. All right, so my player of the week is really easy. I called dibs on this. I put this into the notes before we even started really working on the notes. Dylan Moore is my player of the week. Has to be. Dude is scorching hot. He had 2 home runs in the same game as the same as Julio has had all season. Dude, Demo's just been hot. He's been clutch. He's been barreling things up. Again, his defense at short was good enough while JP was gone. And I think he's just the ultimate super utility man. Can play corner outfield if we need him to. Can play all around the infield. I mean, dude is just a dog. I mean, he can play every position, but center field, pitcher, and catcher. So anything down the middle of the diamond, he can't. But literally everything
He can
else.
play center field.
I mean, he could. It wouldn't be
He's
great.
played center field before.
I know. It wouldn't be fantastic, though.
That is true.
Yeah. So anyways, my point is this, is Dylan Moore absolutely hands down to me, player of the week. Keep him in the lineup. Don't care how. Don't care if it's left-handed. Don't care if it's right-handed. Keep him in the lineup.
Yeah, so my player of the week is Brian Wu.
Of course.
I mean, of course. You just called dibs on Dylan Moore. Like we said earlier, 0.57 ERA. In the big leagues, 0.33, counting the rehab starts. His first 3 starts were against the A's, who were at the time were surging. The Royals, who have been the best team in the AL Central by a mile.
Sorry, should we say that again? Can you repeat that for the crowd?
No, I will not.
Just saying Trevor's prediction
We're
of the
a
AL
quarter away
Central
from
is
the
looking
season.
real good.
And the Yankees, which he dominated yesterday. By the way, did you see his dad in the crowd?
Yeah, that was so awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude, also his dad is chucked.
Yeah, his dad's jacked.
I'm like, what the heck? He's like fist pumping and like his like biceps out. I'm like,
He's
okay,
gonna tear his shirt.
okay.
His sinker and his four seam look filthy. His sweeper is really taking a step forward. He's probably gonna have a splitter by next year because he's a Mariners starter. But yeah, Brian Wu looked amazing.
And he's our 5 starter.
Yes,
Unreal.
By the way, we saw Emerson Hancock pitch down in AAA. Has not looked great to me. He's been getting hit hard.
Yeah, he's given up a lot of hard contact for sure. All right, let's get wrapped up in our hot corner here. All right, so I think honestly, my hot corner is I think the Rangers are going to continue to plummet, and so my hot corner is that I think the Astros will be in second place by the time the Mariners face them early next week, or at least during that series. The Astros, guys, I'm telling you, they're not going anywhere. Like they will find a way back into this thing. I guarantee you in September when we're counting down days and watching scoreboards and all that, the Houston Astros will be in the mix somehow.
Yep.
So I don't want to see them up. I want to see their demise. I want to see them as Lastros. I want to see them below the Athletics and just sucking. And it's been fun, but it's not going to last. Jeremy Pena is having one of the best seasons of his career. Kyle Tucker has been on fire. Jose Altuve is having one of the best career years. Alvarez is Alvarez. Their pitching is honestly the biggest thing that's killing them recently. I'm just saying they're going to get it figured out. And so the Mariners need to take it seriously and they need to build on this lead. Now, granted, the Mariners schedule the rest of the way out is one of the easiest in baseball because we've been facing the freaking gauntlet to this point. But the fact that we're over 500 facing the schedule that we faced to this point, honestly, is pretty cool. And we're at the high water mark, by the way. We're 5 games over 500 for the first time this year.
Yep. I really didn't have a hot take, so I just kind of scrambled. I think Mitch Garver and Ty France will have a big day today because we're going against Nestor. They haven't hit Nestor the best in the past, but Nestor's profile seems to tend more towards pitchers that Garver and Ty do well against. I could see France take another daddy hack.
I hope so.
Left field. By the way, we're talking about the lineup for today.
Yeah, let's do it real fast.
Horrible. So JP leading off, Julio, Garver, Cal, Demo in left field.
Why is Garver at 3?
Lefty.
I don't care.
That's why.
Demo. Put Demo at 3.
Ty, Polanco, Hanny, and Urias. Why?
No Rojas.
No Rojas, no Rayleigh.
No Rayleigh.
I understand Canzone.
I actually understand Rojas right now too, if I'm being honest. He's been kind of cold recently.
But like Urias,
yeah,
really,
dude. I think Urias is really close to being DFA.
He's.
Does he have any options? By the way, I actually posted about that, and then I thought about it. Does he have any options? I'd be curious. I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either. I think he has enough service time in the MLB.
Yeah,
he has 1.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. That actually helps a lot.
Yeah, that's actually a game changer. So something in the back of my head did have that he had an option in there somewhere.
Chavis?
Honestly, I think Urias. I don't think his slugging numbers are worth it, man. I just don't like the people that fight for him.
Struggle on defense.
And
the thing that pisses me off, by the way, about this lineup is Rayleigh. Like, why is Rayleigh not in?
Why is Rayleigh not in? Is a
He had a home run yesterday against a lefty.
Right.
I don't.
I bet you he pinch hits at some point today.
Well, he better.
Yeah.
If he's not like sore in an area or something, like he should be playing. I understand if he's feeling back soreness,
Feed the hot hand, man.
whatever. Yeah, it's like, really, dude? Punting the game.
Well, Zavala's not catching, so I feel like anytime we put Zavala out there, we're punting that game. I don't know why.
We need Blake Hunt.
We need Blake
See,
Hunt.
that should have been my hot take. Blake Hunt
should have been. Dude, we were begging for that. They didn't play Blake Hunt when we were at the Rainiers game. I was super pissed.
No, that wouldn't make any sense.
And then we were down with the
Well, it
base.
did make sense because
We were down with the
this
bases.
is a Sunday day game.
But we were down with the bases loaded in extras. Like, why would you not pinch hit Blake Hunt right there?
Yeah, he went yard the game I went to before.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's
Oppo.
a beast. Anyways. All right, man. We are way over time. Dude, that's a couple weeks in a row. We've gone way over. Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Way too much stuff to talk about. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Man, just seeing numbers over and over again, week after week. Just seeing the support that we're getting. We're getting way more engagement on X. Tons of people talking to us all the time. As always, please go like, subscribe, go follow all of our podcasts in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the things. Leave any comments you have. That would be helpful engagement wise. And we just we love doing this, man.
Yeah,
it's a blast.
Love it.
So thanks for anything else, E?
No, but they're warming up right now.
So. They're about to get going here. It's 4:00, so we're gonna get off. We're gonna get off the air so that we can
rage,
go scream, cry. No, I'm just kidding. We'll see how Bryce Miller does, man. I really hope he does well. I hope our offense continues to go here. I have a feeling today's going to be rough, but I would love to be proven wrong.
Mitch Garver bomb.
Okay, let's get it done. All right, that being said, this is the Soda Mojo Podcast.